Yeah, so Weinstein is just one of many men in power accused of abusing their position to take advantage of women. Joining us this morning to help us sort of understand all this and what it means to you and your rights in the workplace when it comes to sexual harassment is attorney Sabrina Cronin from Cronin Law in Bloomfield Hills. Sabrina, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Dina.
When we talk about sexual harassment, we often hear the exaggerated stories. What is it exactly? What defines it, or is that tough to do?
Well, the definition is tough, but it's really a reasonable standard, and what one person might feel to be offensive might not be offensive to someone else. So it is a reasonable standard, but it's a protected class being, offended. And Michigan is a very liberal state relative to all the other states for sexual harassment claims.
In other words, how Michigan defines it, it's a pretty broad definition.
Well, we have, yes, it's the sexual harassment claims can be, untoward sexual advances. They can make any claims if you feel uncomfortable in the workplace. It can be against men or women. It doesn't have to be one certain definition of it.
What do you do, though, if you are, maybe you're not sure? Is this something that you start documenting, and is that okay to do? Is that tricky? How do you go about it if you think maybe this is starting to feel wrong?
If it does feel wrong to you, Marielle, you should always look to your employer's handbook, the policies. Make sure you're following the policies that your employer has set in place. If there are no policies of reporting incidences of uncomfortability, or if you feel like someone's making inappropriate comments to you or in front of you, then you definitely need to do as you say, document everything, keep a journal, talk to the HR rep that you know and you feel comfortable with. If you can't and don't feel comfortable, then talk to someone that you do feel comfortable with. Make sure your employer's on notice.
I feel like many times when we hear about these cases, or maybe if you've experienced it, sometimes the initial reaction is to dismiss it and say, oh, okay, I'm just gonna get myself out of this uncomfortable situation and I'm not gonna say anything because it's embarrassing, I don't wanna lose my job. It's tough to come forward with these things, isn't it?
It's very hard. And look at all the people in the public eye. Look at all these very famous people that were uncomfortable with it. It takes a lot of emotional strength to come forward. And then when you do, you feel like people are looking at you like you're the wrongdoer.
Yeah, why did you let that happen?
Yes,
right?
Yes. It's very, very hard. And that's why Michigan is very favorable to those who have been victims of sexual harassment.
You talk about going to HR. There is, I'll say, a myth, an idea that HR is not there for you. They're there to protect the company. So there are some people who feel like if I go to HR, they will use this against me somehow. Is there any truth to that?
Absolutely. But if there is any retaliation, that's against the law. So that's why it's very important to do, as you said, keep a journal, keep chronicling everything that's happened. And there's two different types of laws and standards. There's the quid pro quo theory, which is, it's very technical, but it's a strict liability theory that you don't have to prove notice, that the employer does not have to have been notified of this incident. It means that if you were an employee and you felt your job was at risk, you felt you wouldn't get promoted if you're not sleeping with the boss, etc., that's quid pro quo. And then there's another standard, it's the hostile work environment, and that's really more of the common standard. Those are the standards that say the employer has to have either constructive or actual notice of the harassment. And that's when it's important to notify people.
How much is this happening to this day? Because it seems like we should be, in 2017, it seems like we should be at a point where we understand appropriate boundaries, but we don't, do we?
Oh, it's very difficult, and it's unfortunate. It shouldn't be tolerated, yet it is. And as you said, Dina, so many women and men are afraid to come forward. And it shouldn't be tolerated. It has to be stopped, and more people have to have the courage, but it's hard to have that courage because they're in fear.
Well, and I will say here at the station, we had a meeting not too long ago about understanding, because sometimes harassment doesn't involve even sexual language. Sometimes it's an offhanded remark about something that is, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not sexual in nature, but yet it's harassment.
It can be offensive. For the reasonableness standard, it does take more than one incident. You know, an offhanded joke or a remark sometimes doesn't meet that level. But as you said, keep a journal. And if you continue to feel uncomfortable and that uncomfortability rises, then something should be done. Absolutely.
What do you make, just, and I know we got to go, what do you make of this reported $32 million payout that Bill O'Reilly settled with the woman? What would be the nature of that case?
There were perhaps many of victims who were at the hands of his sexual harassment. It's unfortunate that the channel knew, the station knew, and didn't do anything about it. But you know, things happen and things get settled, and the victims wanted it to just go away, and they settled, and at least they brought their claims forward, and at least it happened, and they felt somewhat vindicated. So the takeaway is just try not to let it go on too long. Stand up for yourself and be courageous.
Good advice. Thank you, Sabrina. Good stuff.